Alrighty, people. Welcome back to some more Umineko When They Cry. So where we last left off, Anji was having a conversation with this professor of the sort. There wasn't really much progress to be learnt about other than, about this whole message in the bottle to see whether if it was from the witch Beatrice or well, I don't know. If it was someone else that made it look like it's impersonating someone. And then, well, then there is her grimoire she's holding is the key to find all the answers. Now we're at some hotel room of the sort. I guess, Aji is just staying for the night. Man, it is. I miss coming back to recording at times. A little bit of a long day, honestly. Anyway, let's continue. This was a super expensive hotel in the city. Since it was often used by the rich and the famous, they were very big on confidentiality. That made it very convenient for Anji to escape her pursuers. The idea that renegades should spend their nights hiding in cheap hotels is a commoner's way of thinking. To Anji, who possessed all the wealth the Ushiromiya family, renegade life was comfortable indeed. I don't know what it's like within Anji's perspective, but sure. Of course, even though he was a guard, Amakusa was a man and therefore in a separate room. Anji used the bedroom of the suite and Amakusa lay on the sofa in the living room. Hey man, if you have a sofa in the hotel room, then that's all you ever need. That's the thing though, like if you have a hotel room with one bed and one couch, then does it still count as having a two bed? Like come on man, look at this shit. Living room. According to Amakusa, the sofas here were more pleasant than his own beds had been recently. Poor guy. Poor guy, man. He's having it rough. When I looked at the clock, I saw that it was almost 2 in the middle of the night. I'm still not getting sleepy. I sighed deeply. At that time, even though there was no wind, I had the feeling that Maria One-chan's diary fluttered. Then, One-chan appeared. Her form was no longer the normal one I'd known. She was wearing the dress that Beatrice had given her after acknowledging her as a witch. I hear a ding sound. Let's see. This, and then we have Maria, the Witch of Origins who will live for the next 1,000 years. Possesses the motherly magical power to give birth to Zero from the sea. Zero. At a glance, her magical power is weak. However, Zero never become anything but Zero, no matter how it is multiplied. But the one she gave birth to will eventually surpass the heaven. Haven't I already read this? Hold on. Surely it said in the witches. Yeah, the same definition is right there. Why is it giving me? I guess they just put it. I guess it's giving me the ding sound since it appears on Anji's side too. So, of course, even though it's on the witch's side, it'll appear on that. Okay, maybe I already read that. As a witch.
もう寝ないと明日が辛いよ。私も魔女なら魔法が使えるのよね。うん。使えるよ。教えてあげたでしょ。
Is Anji really wearing the same exact clothes to go to sleep with as well? That is actually pretty. I mean, who the fuck needs clothes anyway?
使い方。昔は使えたはずだよ。覚えてる？使いたくなった。寂しくなった？別に。毎日枕が違うくらいのことで辛くなんてならないわ。
魔法の最初の一歩は、寂しいからとか、退屈だからとか、そのくらいのささやかな理由でいいの。
眠くなるまでの暇つぶしだとしても。
うん。エンジェがもう一度魔法のことを思い出してくれて、マリアは嬉しい。
No words. It's been quite a long time since I last used magic. At one point, with Maria One-chan's introduction, I touched the corner of it and opened the door a tiny bit. So, I should still remember that sensation.
今のエンジェはかなり魔法の力が衰えてる。基本に忠実じゃないと難しいよ。
うん。四方を確認。静かな空間を確保。
天草さんは？
寝てるわ。
Yeah, I'm sure he's busy just snoring himself out. Ain't that something? After opening the door to the living room a crack, I could see the blanket caterpillar on the sofa roll over in its sleep.
今のエンジェの弱い魔力では、半魔法力の影響を受けすぎる。人の姿だけじゃない。声も音も気配さえもエンジェの魔法の邪魔をする。
Huh. I did not know you need a really quiet area to, in order to, practice magic.
それらを完璧に立って。古代魔術師たちがアトリエを閉ざして孤独を守ったように。
覚えてるわ。人間の存在自体が魔法を妨げる。故に人に魔法を見せるということそのものがとても高位な魔女の証だったわね。
Obtain a quiet space for yourself alone. That should be enough to prepare a space to use magic. Obtain a quiet space. Boy, I sure wish it was like when, studying, but I guess not. That should be enough to prepare a space to use magic.
次に、よりしろ。
The vessel.
今のエンジェには自転車の補助輪、いえ、チェーンくらい大事。
これは当然無理よね。
Ange rubbed her own head. She wore hair accessories there with pink gems attached. They felt a little childish for Ange, but she never took them off, not even for a single day.
うん。今のエンジェにはとても無理。あの日から一日も休むことなく修行していたなら、あるいは今頃は呼び出すことができたかもしれないね。
Wait, what? No, a chain. So, is the hair accessories the one on her head that she always wear? I don't know. Wait, I went the wrong one. I'm supposed to scroll up. They felt a little childish for Ange, but they should. It said, it's funny how it said a little childish for Ange, but it looks like it's hinting her that because she missed her, because her childhood got taken away or whatever the fuck you were gonna refer to it by, she's gonna wear her hair accessories just like that. And maybe that's kind of part of the reason as to why.
今から修行したらどのくらいかかるの？
Because it'll be like, yeah, it looks a little childish, but because I lost my childhood due to fucking Eva, then I'm gonna put them on just to make it look like I'm still a kid.
魔女の修行は幼き日の1年が 老いの10年と同じ価値があると言われてる。
A year of magical training for a child is worth 10 years for an old person.
相当の覚悟がいるよ。
それこそ後ろ宮金蔵くらいに。ピアノもバイオリンも魔法も幼い頃からの英才教育が大事なのね。
今のエンジェは初めて魔法を使えた時よりもその力が落ちている。無理をしないで基本に忠実に。
Start from the basics. After stubbornly rubbing those things on my head one more time, I gave up. Then I started fishing through the knapsack, looking for anything that might make a good vessel.
これならよりしろにはぴったりじゃない？
懐かしい。それならば今のエンジェでも召喚できると思うよ。それには今主がいない。エンジェが新しい主になるのも可能なはず。
Among the things that looked like good vessels, I took the one I thought might possess the strongest magical power, and set it on the side table near the bed with a clatter. It was a shady-looking stake-shaped weapon with an occult design inscribed on it. It was one of the 7 stakes of purgatory which the witch used to offer sacrifices. Wait, she got a stake with an occult design on it. It looks like she must have fished it out, like when she was it because she was on Rokujima before, like before she was, you know? No, it's maybe Eva kept it as a souvenir in her home, and then Ange and had the opportunity to take it. That's the one thing I can only think of as and even if I say that, I could be wrong. Used to wish she used to offer sacrifices. When the police had been searching the family's possessions, they had collected a large amount of junk. After the investigation had finished, these had been politely returned to their Ushiromiya family. Finding something that I'd seen in the pictures of Maria's diary, I took it home with me.
煉獄の七杭はもともと7本で一揃いだった。気の毒にね。今はもう彼女1本だけ。
One-chan smiled, looking lonely. I pulled another book out of the knapsack. Wait, I pulled another book? Oh. But that's just a grimoire-looking book. I thought it was like Maria's diary. This was also old-fashioned, and you could tell that it was an occult book just by looking. But its contents were plain. It was one of Maria One-chan's elaborate notebooks. This wasn't a diary. Oh, this wasn't a diary. This was a grimoire, which she had written as a witch. The 7 stakes of purgatory are Beatrice's furniture, created by her and employed only for her sake. Wait. That's what I was wondering too. Like, Maria was hinting that the 7 stakes of purgatory doesn't have an owner. But where the fuck is Beatrice as to right now, though? That's the thing. Only for her own sake. But since Beatrice is also a witch of Mariage Sorcière, they could be employed by Maria, a witch of the same alliance. Oh, Interesting. So because Maria is an apprentice to Beatrice, then Maria has the power to control the 7 stakes of purgatory. And if Maria is... Would Ange technically be Maria's apprentice? So that means Ange could also command the 7 stakes of purgatory? I feel like Hmm. Same alliance. For that reason, the method of summoning the seven states of purgatory and how to handle them was written about in great detail in Maria Onechan's grimoire, and as another person with their name registered in that alliance, I was also permitted to employ you.
この杭は七姉妹の誰？
マリアの魔導書に彼女らの特徴がよく記されてるよ。七杭の姉妹は名前を間違えられることをとても嫌う。
So they need to be referred by name. Oh, pretty smart for Maria to write down the notes.
召喚する前によく彼女らの名前を思い出して。
A packed page told of the seven stakes of purgatory. It described the seven sisters in great detail. Yes, I think I memorized almost this entire page once in the past. The more I read it, the more I start to remember. By the pictures and characteristics written on the grimoire, I could tell that the stake in my hand was a mammoth's stake. In the past, I hadn't had any stakes, so I'd summoned them without any vessel. So this was the first time I'd clearly seen any of the seven stakes, let alone mammoth.
マモン。五女。
The fifth sister.
七つの大罪の強欲を司る。
The deadly sin of greed.
すごい子よね。
強欲は向上心、上昇志向、生きる強さなども司る。
Controls aspirations, the desire to improve oneself, and the strength to live. Hey, look, actually something perfect for Ange.
決して悪い意味だけではないんだよ。口は悪いけど、とても頑張り屋さんな子だし。
Oh, hey, she's rude just like Ange, but Ange, these two look like they'll get along.
そうね。欲がないってことは、つまり生きてる理由がないってことだし。
For a while, I heightened my concentration and digested the information that was written about Mammoth. The more the summoner knows about the target that's being summoned, the better. Knowledge is connected to magical power. I began to fill my head with knowledge about Mammon, raising a necessary amount of magical power for a summoner.
魔導書ってちょっとだけ面白いわね。下手くそな小説を読むよりよっぽど面白いかもしれない。なんだか懐かしい気持ちになるわ。
魔導書はただ文字を読み取るだけじゃなく、行間から世界を膨らませたり、挿絵から世界を生み出したりと、様々な想像を要求されるの。生み出す力。これを持つエンジェになら、どんな本よりも魔導書は面白いはずだよ。エンジェになら理解できるってマリアはずっと知ってたもの。
Yeah, because Ange doesn't like, boring normie shit. She only likes fucking magical stuff, I guess. Put it that way.
マモンの知識、これで十分だと思うわ。うん。だいたい蘇った。やってみる。
しっかりね。いざという時に備えて私の護符を。今の君は同盟の条約に守られてない。マモンは少し喧嘩っ早いところがある子。
A quick trigger.
あるいはまだ恨んでるかも。
I'm not surprised.
注意して。
I'll keep that in mind.
うん。身につけることにする。
The seven stakes of purgatory, as furniture used to make sacrifices for a ceremony, were treated as beings inferior even to weapons. but that was only when compared to other demons. To humans, furniture is something to be feared. I fished through the knapsack again, took out a bracelet charm with a scorpion medal that I'd gotten from Maria One-chan long ago, and put it on my arm. In the past, I hadn't needed something like this, but I need insurance.
大丈夫。それにはまだ十分な魔法防御が備わってる。それを身につけている限り絶対に大丈夫。
Maria One-chan's magic power, which had been specially put into this charm, had been enough to earn even Beatrice's admiration. While it may have looked like something cheap to a human who couldn't understand magic, its magical worth was incalculable. Yes, you must wear this at all time.
さあさあ、おいでなさい。罪を許しなさい。煉獄の七杭が一つ。強欲のマモン。
No words. I focused my mind. I made the magic repelling toxin that filled my body zero. Imagine an untainted vast space. Doubts and common sense all resist magic. Make the resistance zero and erase the burden on the magical power. Inside my head was the image of a vast space. It was a nighttime world where I floated in the air and the neon stars over the ground sparkled. A world where the stars that should have covered the sky were wiped away by the light from below that covered the ground. In the world of a vast night sky with no obstructions, I imagined the wind blowing through at will. That time, in a room where there shouldn't have been any wind, the free nighttime wind picked up a cyclone. The long-forgotten sensation raced through my entire body. It was the unique feeling of exaltation that comes from using magic. Mammon stake, which I held out in my hand, gradually began to make me feel a pale light. A twisting cyclone with the stake at the center. The hefty stake floated a bit into the air.
見事だよ。ブランクは君から才能を奪わなかったね。
さあさあ、おいでなさい。罪を許しなさい。煉獄の七杭が一つ。強欲のマモン。その姿を私に見せなさい。
After I raised my hands bit by bit, lifting them higher than my head, as though it was being attracted upwards, Mammon's stake once again floated up high into the air and gradually began to shake. That shaking began to grow faster, and then it burst. With a speed faster than the eye could follow, it flew around, violently rebounding off the walls of the room. The terrible sound of it dancing around threatened to make me flinch. However, I must not lose my mental concentration. Then, the stake, which had been flying around at an incredible speed, finally stopped and faced me. It was in the air, just a few centimeters away from my forehead, and held back by the defensive barrier created by the scorpion charm. It had tried to break the defensive barrier, eating into it with an incredible power, but Maria One-chan's barrier wouldn't be broken so easily.
無理か、食い破れない。
The stake muttered hatefully. It was probably safe to say that the scorpion charm saved me. Without that, my attempt at killing time until I got sleepy would have killed my time for all eternity. And look at that, 25 minutes in, we are able to see Mammon in Anji's story. When Mammon's stake realized that it was unable to gouge me, it gave up and grew docile, changing its form from that of a stake into a human. And look at that, we have Mammon. Oh, so now Anji not only have Maria, we now have all the Seven Sisters of the Purgatory. Lucifer, created by Beatrice. Well, there is Anji Beatrice after all. I mean, we don't necessarily have to read through like, all of the descriptions. Besides, now maybe Anji is growing in power. Maybe later on, who knows? Into a human in that same old outfit that I'd never be able to walk around outside in. Although you could say it suited her in a demonic sort of way.
エンジ様なの？ずいぶんとみすぼらしい魔力だけど、本当にエンジ様？
お久しぶりね、マモン。元気にしてた？
てっきり、もうお役御免の家具は何度で朽ち果てるだけだと思ってました。それで、これはどういう余興で？まさか、私の所有者がエンジ様とでもおっしゃるつもりで？
Not necessarily, but yes.
うん。エンジが君の主人だよ。
Yes, yes, the you sisters of the Purgatory got a mission we gotta do that we gotta do.
マリア教。これはお見苦しいところ。先ほどの結界はマリア教の。うん。今のエンジじゃ、ひょっとしたら君にやられてしまうかもしれないって思ったから。
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised about an alternative ending, where fucking Anji got fucking destroyed.
護符を貸したの。
But it is what it is.
マリア教に私の主人がエンジ様だと言われたんじゃ断りようもありません。エンジ様、何なりとご命令を。
If Lady Maria says Anji-sama is my master, I cannot refuse. Nah, that'd be too fucking easy.
私が必要とされるということは、新しい儀式を、新しい生贄を、もっとも私を使いこなし、自らの手を汚す程度の覚悟がおありならの話ですが。
その役割は私はもう求めてないわ。昔同様にただ話し相手になってくれるだけで十分よ。
No words. See, and here I thought Anji would say something like, "We're gonna find the ones that oppose me." And then that'd be the story. But I guess not. That isn't the case.
ええ、それがお望みでしたら。家具は使われてこそ家具。お呼び出しいただいただけで光栄ですとも。エンジ様。
Mammon had a slightly complicated smile on her face. She accepted her new master because Maria had told her to, but it looked like she hadn't gotten over her discontent at working for Anji with her frail magical power. Perhaps she had some other reason for hating Anji, but for now it seemed that she couldn't disobey, even if she wasn't happy about it. Excuse me. I wonder what was the other reason for hating her.
それで私は何をすれば？
わからない。
Excuse me.
適当に賑やかにしてくれればいいわ。
To do something lively.
昔みたいに。
Like old times, say.
お言葉ですが、多分エンジェ様がおっしゃる賑やかさとは、私たち姉妹の騒ぎのことだと思います。私一人では難しいかと。お忘れで？そうだね。七姉妹はみんなが揃うと本当に賑やかだったもんね。でも今のエンジェの魔力じゃマモンを呼び出すのが精一杯だと思う。
Oh, I guess that's the only thing that we can do.
他の6人の悔いも紛失してる。
What if we recovered the other 6?
恐れながらマリア卿、私の悔いを経由し七姉妹に語りかけ呼び出すことは不可能ではないかと。私を刺激されるのでしたら、その程度の力はエンジェ様にはお持ちいただきたいところですが。
Maybe. Mammon grinned. Apparently she wanted me to summon the other sisters without a vessel. I see. Since she's unable to satisfy herself with being summoned alone, she's asking for the other sisters to be summoned as well. I get it. Greed. Yes, she was like this back then, wasn't she? Obviously. To furniture, the times during which they are used are bliss. No matter how badly they are exploited, being used is furniture's joy. On the contrary, regardless of how nice you are to them, not being given a job is more painful than anything in their eyes. Mammon spoke in a challenging way, but she wanted me to summon the other sisters somehow and rescue them from the world of nothingness. If that's the case, all she's got to do is say so. These demon people can never just say what they mean.
エンジェ、無理しないで。マモンを呼び出せただけでリハビリには十分だよ。
あら、一人だけでリハビリになっちゃうの？どうせ暇つぶしよ。いいわ、マモン。乗りかかった船だわ。呼べるところまで呼んであげる。
本当に？さすがエンジェ様！
Damn, that look on her face.
さあさあ、早く！
Apparently, even though she'd asked, Mammon hadn't really expected Ange to do this. She hopped around, badgering Ange to summon the other sisters. God damn, she's really poaching her. Summoning Mammon alone consumed a considerable amount of physical and magical power. It'll probably be pretty tough to do 6 more. I'm awed by the magical power of those who can summon sisters like this at will with a snap of their fingers, and who, therefore, reached a level where they can be called witches.
マモン、エンジェに無理をさせないで。エンジェはまだ本調子じゃないから。
Yeah, if you're gonna make Ange do it, she's gonna fucking end up in a coma for a bit.
エンジェ様はみんなを召喚してくれるって言いました？
Well, she had to kill time just to summon another one. She's not gonna do it all at once. Killing time means mana regeneration. That's how the fucking RPG games work. Unless there are potions in the real world, but there isn't. I'm saying game logic in a visual novel logic, huh? I'm being stupid. Actually, I only said I'd call as many as I could. I guess that's greed for you.
無理しないで、エンジェ。
Well, if Ange is part of greed, then if the man is part of greed, then Ange's part of greed. You know, two peas in a pod.
もう今日は休んだ方がいい。君は十分疲れてるよ。
いいわよ。どうせ暇つぶし。ばったり寝込めるくらいに疲れさせてもらうわ。
I see that Ange is sleep deprived. This time there's no vessel. I'll have to strengthen the image from my knowledge of the grimoire and materialize them with just that. I held my hands out into the air, replaying in my head the sensation from when I summoned the Mammon. I'm acquainted with all of the Seven Sisters, right? I've got to remember that time, long ago, when I talked with them. Once again, the power of magic began to fill me up. It let off a faint and yet distant pale light from both of my hands.
エンジ様、しっかりしっかり頑張って。ねえマリア卿、エンジ様は必ずみんなを呼び出してくださいますよね。
I wouldn't get your hopes up too high.
また7姉妹は再会できますよね。きっとね。でもそれが今夜という保証はないよ。
See? It's not like there's a guarantee.
エンジ様ならできますって。エンジ様、お願い。末っ子のアスモから。
You're getting a little too optimistic there.
アスモデウス7条。わかった。末っ子から順番に呼ぶわ。
We're doing this by the puzzle order. A strand of hot sweat dripped down from my forehead. This really is going to be one hell of a burden to carry. The pale light in this space began to slowly form into the outline of a girl.
さあさあ、おいでなさい。煉獄の七杭が一つ、色欲のアスモデウス。
There was no vessel. However, as I held a strong conviction that she definitely did exist there as a core, her form began to crystallize. Her outline became distant, and the form of the youngest of the Seven Sisters, Asmodeus, was finally created.
色欲のアスモデウス、ここに。ここはどこ？私は生きてるの？アスモ！よかった！マモン姉さん、ここは一体。私を呼び出したのは誰なの？
Who summoned you? You're being summoned by the most powerful witch-like priest.
エンジ様が私たちをみんな蘇らせてくれるって。
No, I didn't.
エンジ様、ありがとう。次はベルゼをお願いします。
Oh God. This is gonna be a long night, ain't it?
ベルゼブブ6条。
Beelzebub.
暴食のベルゼブブ。
Beelzebub of gluttony.
さあさあ、おいでなさい。
Oh God, you're really gonna fucking pass out in a coma after this. At this rate, I wonder how many I'll be able to summon. If I can't focus, this is probably it. The pale light made an outline and formed into Beelzebub.
暴食のベルゼブブ、ここに。ベルゼー！エンジ様、すごい！
Mammon and Asmodeus jumped onto Beelzebub, celebrating this reunion. I'd summoned 3 people at once. My head was throbbing. Gotta summon the next one without stopping for a break.
さあさあ、おいでなさい。煉獄の7杭の一つ、怠惰のベルフェゴール。
怠惰のベルフェゴール、ここに。なんと、私がまだ必要とされるとは。
Sorry, but you guys are needed for the mission.
じゃなくて、また会えて嬉しい。また7姉妹みんなが再会できるなんて。エンジ様、本当にありがとうございます。この調子で次はサタンネーを。デビアネーもルシネーも。
ええ、分かってるわ。だからお願い、あまりうるさくしないで。4人同時は結構きつい。
エンジ、もうそれ以上無理をしないで。これだけ久しぶりなのによく4人も召喚できたよ。
よせ、マモン。今のエンジェ様には我らの召喚は負担を強いている。エンジェ様、どうかご無理をなされませんよ。
Yeah, can Ange take a break yet?
私は嫌。エンジ様は約束したもん。また私たちみんなと遊んでくれるって。
This is literally becoming the meme within the gacha game experience. Pressuring Ange to do more. No,
エンジ様、みんなとまた会えるって。すぐに会えるって約束した。
そうね、約束したわ。すぐにがいつのこととは約束しなかったけど、確かに私は約束したわ。
だから守って。じゃないと私は今日までそれを忘れていたエンジェ様を許さない。
さあさあ、おいでなさい。煉獄の7杭の一つ、憤怒のサタン。
my mind's getting hazy, but all calm. Even though I'd forgotten about those days, even though I've never thought of that time as anything but sad and lonely. Because the short time I spent with them was fun without a doubt.
憤怒のサタン、ここに。
何やってるのよ、あんたたち。
Satan, or I like how he said Satan, but it's Satan.
私たちが井戸端会議をするだけでどれだけエンジェ様に負担をかけてるか分かってんの？
I blame Mammon for this. How is it Anji's fault that she promised? Mammon was the one fucking pressuring her to do everything for you. Satan, who had apparently figured out the situation immediately after being summoned, cried out in a loud voice, telling her sisters all. That loud voice made my consciousness hazy again.
私たちはベアトリーチェ様より休むことを許された役目を終えた家具なのよ。再びお役に立てる機会を賜るどころか、新しい主人の負担になるなんて、そんなの家具の直れ。早く姿を消しなさい。うん、サタン姉の言う通りだ。姿を消す。お前たちも姿を消せ。それがこの瞬間 一番エンジェ様のお役に立てる。
私は嫌よ。みんなを呼び出してもらえるまでは嫌。
We're not even the fucking tight amount of time to summon everyone. Jesus Christ.
私も嫌。お腹すいた。じゃなくて、やっと再開したばかりなのに、もう帰るなんて嫌。
I didn't know the stakes of purgatory is turning into a fucking democracy.
わがまま言ってんじゃないわよ。ほら、とっとと姿を消す。ほら、アスもさっさと消えなさい。
サタン姉さんがいじめた。
This is just becoming wild.
いつも末っ子からなんてずるい。
実に賑やかね。退屈しない。
もう十分だよ。今のエンジェには限界を超えてる。
そうね。
No words, as she's already exhausted. With 5 of them summoned and messing around as they pleased, the load was far too heavy for me with the meager magical power I had at that moment. This is it. As my consciousness went hazy, I fell over onto the bed. Have beds always felt this soft? It seemed that the sisters were still squabbling together as much as they liked. For a way to kill time until drowsiness comes to get me, this is enough. Feeling something warm and nostalgic in the sisters' liveliness, I sank into a world of deep sleep. At the entrance to my dream world, I felt Maria One-chan and Sakutaro wanting to receive me.
お疲れ様。そして頑張ったね。ウリュウ、おかえり、エンジェ。
Welcome back, huh? Then I should respond like this. I'm home. Oh, ain't that a little bit bittersweet, you know? Despite being a little bit into... it is a little bit bittersweet for when, despite being almost halfway into the episode. But now is a good time for me to end it from here. Because next part, let's continue more of the usual shenanigans of the sort. Maybe we'll be able to summon 2. Maybe Ange will come back with a more vigorous effort to summon the remaining 2 of the 7 Sisters of Purgatory. So, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys later. You'll have a good one.